Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. We are starting chapter 2 of First Thessalonians today. We're going to be going through the first 12 verses as a series. I'm going to show you not seven steps, but 7 things here about that all tie together here. Okay. So this is entitled today, and for the next 7 sessions here, My Offense is My Defense. When I used to play soccer, we loved it. I played defense, usually in soccer, fullback and so forth. But when we played soccer, I loved when the ball was always up in front of the other goal, like the forwards were up there and always shooting. So it was like the best defense was to have that offense. That offense was always trying to score. The ball was always on their side of the field. They were trying to score. Our team was trying to score. If the ball was always up there, the defense really didn't have to do very much. Okay, because the offense was keeping the ball up there. And so if the ball ever came back there once in a while, we could get the ball and easily kick it back up there, and they could have a good time trying to score again. The reason I bring this all up is because this section here, Paul is writing to defend his ministry. And you're thinking, why would he need to defend his ministry? Well, remember, Paul was in Thessalonica for 3 weeks. And when he was in there for 3 weeks, he started the church and got the church going. He had to leave, and when he left, then other people came in and thought, "Oh, I'm just as good as Paul," and then they were trying to discredit Paul, really. And so word got back to Paul, and now Paul is giving his defense, really. And if you look closely at it, he's really playing offense here. He never went into Thessalonica going, "Oh, I wonder how I can defend myself with what's happening." He wasn't concerned about that. He was concerned about sharing the gospel and building the church. And so that's his offense. That was what he was doing. And naturally now that he doesn't need to defend himself, but he's defending himself. And when he's doing that, he's just bringing up what he did, the offense that he was playing. So hopefully that makes sense. So there's 7 things here that Paul says about his offense, really, okay? 7 characteristics of ministry, and these 7 characteristics still play out in ministry today, and it's important that we have these 7 characteristics in ministry when we're trying to minister to others. So that's kind of a long explanation about this introduction here of this. Today it's entitled, this first part here, this first characteristic really is it's not an easy road. Okay, ministry and being a Christian actually is not an easy road. So let me read here. I'm going to read for the first several sessions here, chapter 2, verses 1 through 6. And this where I'm getting this point today is actually taken from verses 1 and 2. So if you have your Bibles, you can follow along with me. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 1 through 6. You know, brothers and sisters, that our visit to you was not without results. We had previously suffered and been treated outrageously in Philippi, as you know, but with the help of our God, we dared to tell you of his gospel in the face of strong opposition. Verse 3, For the appeal we make does not spring from error or impure motives, nor are we trying to trick you. On the contrary, we speak as those approved by God to be entrusted with the gospel. We're not trying to please people, but God who tests our hearts. You know we never used flattery, nor did we put on a mask to cover up greed. God is our witness. We were not looking for praise from people, not from you or anyone else, even though as apostles of Christ, we could have asserted our authority. Okay. So, Paul is giving his defense, and these teachers that came in after Paul would say, making stuff up like they do with everyone in ministry. Paul's not that great and would give all these reasons and stuff like that. So Paul is giving his defense, which is really what he was doing, which was his offense here. So the first one is, it's not an easy road, and this is taken from verses 1 and 2. Where it starts out, brothers and sisters, that our visit to you was not without results. Obviously, it was not without results because he started a church in 3 weeks. I don't know anyone that has started a church in 3 weeks that I can think off the top of my head. And the church was thriving, too. It wasn't just like, oh, we got a husband and a wife and that's what we got. No, it was a thriving church in 3 weeks. So it was not without results. And then he goes on to say, we had previously suffered. Okay, so he's talking before he came to Thessalonica. All right. We had previously suffered and been treated outrageously in Philippi. As you know, but with the help of our God, we dared to tell you his gospel in the face of strong opposition. Okay. So Paul is saying we were treated outrageously. Not just like, kind of bad, but outrageously bad. Okay, it's like, when you say outrageously, it's like, that's so hard to believe, that you would be treated that bad. But Paul's saying we were treated outrageously. And he's saying this happened in Philippi. Philippi is where they came from before Thessalonica. So imagine Paul's in Philippi, gets treated bad there. Does he give up and go, well, time to take a little vacation? No, he goes to Thessalonica, where he works hard, and it's not an easy road. Because you got to work hard to get this church built up in 3 weeks. And why in 3 weeks? Because the opposition is now coming from Philippi to Thessalonica and stirring up trouble and causing a riot. So Paul has 3 weeks, and then after 3 weeks, the church in Thessalonica says, you got to get out here because it's not safe for you anymore. All right. And then he says, we dare to tell you the gospel in the face of this opposition. That Paul knew that these guys were after him, and causing problems. So I don't think it was a big surprise when these guys show up from Philippi, and Paul goes, "Hey, what are you doing here?" It was like, "Oh, okay, you're here, like you're following me around, just causing problems here." And so that's what Paul is saying. My point here is this today. Being a Christian and being in ministry, more specifically, is not an easy road. It wasn't an easy road for Paul. And Paul, has that hard road in Philippi, but he doesn't give up. He continues down that hard road. And after he leaves Thessalonica, he doesn't go, time for a vacation. He still continues on down this hard road. So ministry is not easy. It takes hard work, and it's not an easy road. So so that's really his defense here, and you'll see how it plays out later on with these next 7 characteristics here. That he wasn't laying back trying to relax. Okay, it's hard work, and being a Christian, it's not an easy road, and especially being in ministry, definitely not an easy road. All right. Hey, thank you for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through 1 Thessalonians. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.